Oh, why, hello there, and welcome back to the video from Dracon. Sorry, I was enjoying the lovely self-made boba green tea that I like to drink now. Lemon and orange really makes it work great. Well, anyway, let's see and get to what the video is about. Today, we are going to be talking about the Wizkids, Icons of the Realm, Summon Creature Set 1. Now, I happened to snag these bad boys on Amazon because I was shopping around one day, and I thought, man, I really would love to get a hold of these bad boys, because they have some really cool creatures in here, which I will go over what is inside each of them before we do that. I also do the artwork on the sides. Got some like lovely elf here, an elf and another elf and a tiger over here. I mean, simple stuff, but it looks really cool. Now, before we get into it, I want to talk about these sort of sets, the summon creature sets, the wild shape sets. Why do I love them? Well, because they bring more animals to the game. Nothing makes an encounter through the woods or something more interesting when, say, your group maybe gets into a fight with a giant ape, a tiger, or something amazing, or like, it leads into a multi-stage fight because, the tiger attacks you because you killed, say, the giant goat, or you battled a giant frog and it leaves meat on the table, other animals want to take advantage. So let's let the sort of opening do its thing like it did with the kobolds and open this bad boy up. I'll talk about that in a second. So Wizkids, man, you've been doing really good. So if they do watch my video, which I hope they do, keep making sets like this. I love these like sets with just some standard creatures. You don't have to go hunt them down or anything. You get some cool stuff. So the figures include, we have the Aurochs, a giant goat, the Needle Blight, the Pegasus, and a Warhorse. Now, granted, with the Warhorse, I'm a little bit confused, and a Needle Blight, I'm confused by summon creatures, but whatever. I mean, I don't think I have a Needle Blight, or no, I do have a Needle Blight. It's in my well, actually, hold on a second. Oh, sorry. Just checking to see what I have for blights. And it turns out I do have the Needle Blight. I have one of the older, I think, Monster Menagerie Needle Blights or whatever. And I have Twig Blights, but I don't have Vine Blights. Dang, Wizkids, I really wish you'd put a Vine Blight in here just because it would have completed the numbers I have. Because I have Reaper Bones. I guess I have a Vine Blight from Reaper Bones, but whatever. So, I think they call it a Sapperling, but I call it a Vine Blight because it looks more like it. But let's see. So let's open this bad boy up. We're going to see. I mean, easy to open. That's good. It was just one piece of tape to really get rid of. There's nothing else in there. No artwork or anything I need to worry about. Okay. Cool enough. Cool double box. Oh, the Warhorse. Yeah, the Warhorse was not in there that well. He was kind of like sitting funky. But man. So here we are with the Warhorse, and I'm going to get them in the camera here in a second. So we have 11. Oh, that's right, for the two sets. This is probably... Wait, is set number 2 like up to 11? Sorry, I just got to pull out one more and check something. 2 out of 11. So I'm guessing the 11 is the full 2 summon creature sets. Which, if you don't know what set number 2 has and why I'm not 100% interested, it comes with all the elementals that you could have gotten in Fangs and Talons, just with maybe slightly different sculpts in some cases. And I'm like, but I already got literally all of them. I got the Earth Elemental, I got the Fire Elemental, I got the Wind and the Water and all that kind of good stuff. Also, guys, if you want to go check that video out, go check out my unboxing of the Fangs and Talons brick, because I did get those guys in there. So, I kind of feel that like elementals like that are kind of a comp out, but it is what it is. So we'll also compare that Blight to the older Blights and stuff and see how he compares out to that and the Reaper Blights. So moving on, let's get up close and let's get a nice good look at these minis, nice and detailed. So here we have the up close look at number 1 of 11, the first creature type of the set, the Needle Blight. And as you can see, he is a creepy looking Groot-esque monster. He is medium class, which is good because Needle Blights are medium class. And he doesn't look too bad. I mean, I find his like very dark design sort of darkish. I mean, the older Needle Blight was a lot brighter. He looked more like Groot from the Marvel's Guardians, but this one looks very dark. He looks like he'd be actually an evil Needle Blight, which is funny because you must have summoned him unless you're a bad guy. Huh. But I like the variation. I do admit the color is pretty dark. I wish his eyes had something more draw to the face. His face is very drawn out. It's very hard to see. I mean, even when I look at it close to the thing, unless I get like my magnifier, it's just that face is just so washed with just a standard color. I wish there was more like eye color, mouth color, something to give him a little bit more facial detail or something like going on deep in those crevices. And let's compare him to the other Blights that I have. So here we have this Blight next to what I use for Blights in my games. I know that one on the right and the far right, one's a familiar, which I just use as a Twig Blight because you can see he's the right kind of height, just very maybe more muscular. And then the Sapperling there I actually use in the second farthest right, or second to the middle. I actually use him as a Vine Blight because I don't have a Vine Blight yet. I don't know why I don't have one yet. I'll either have to make one, get one, or something like that. But anyway, you can see he does stack up pretty good next to him. I mean, my two Blights on the far right, they're way more like green and more nature. While the far left, those are the older ones. We have the Twig Blight there and the Needle Blight. And you can see the difference we have from the Needle Blights. The hands definitely changed. The head got more spiky and the body got way more gnarly, which I don't mind. I actually kind of like it since Needle Blights are evil creatures usually, and they're pretty usually destructive. So I think it works. And honestly, as you can see, it's not a bad addition. And I think the clear base... Now, look, my thing on the clear base, I don't care about clear bases. Clear to black bases, it doesn't bother me. Either one works fine. I'm fine with either. But it's just like when you look at the bottom, though, and you can see like the excess amount of glue that normally be hidden by the black base, it's, you know, makes it more obvious, but it is what it is. So let's move on to our next creature. As we can see, the Needle Blight, I definitely like. I always could use some more Blights to add to my vegetarian-esque characters and creatures, so, you know, that's pretty cool. We can add them to my, like, fungal myconoids and stuff like that, and my fungus dredge and those, and saplings and other things like that. Wait. I think sapling is actually a Magic the Gathering thing. Might be, but I think that's also what it's called on that. Well, anyway, let's get to the next creature. So here we begin by going in to talk about the Aurochs, number 2 of 11. And as you can see, it is a beefy cow in all intents and purposes. I mean, really, that's what Aurochs is. They're just a prehistoric-ass kind of big monster buffalo cow, and the horns of this guy are definitely gnarly and crazy, which looks pretty good on him, which I like. So, you know, there's points for that. And this guy is pretty woolly. Now, I have seen some people actually take oxen minis, and they put some, you know, flocking on the shoulders and stuff to give him, like, that furry upper front. Now, he reminds me of a buffalo in this design because the lower back half is not as gnarly haired, while the rest of it sort of can be. And this guy is a pretty impressive beast nonetheless. Now, do I have an issue with the Aurochs? No, actually, I like it. I like the Aurochs. Now, if we look at their stat card, they only have an 11 armor class, natural armor, and around an average of 38 hit points, but they do move at 50. They do have a charge ability and a gore attack, which, you know, those are all pretty nice. Strength of 20, dex of 10, constitution 19, so dang, these guys are focused on their mission. Intelligence pretty low, and wisdom and charisma are surprisingly better than their intelligence. Which I find funny how charisma is a 5 when the intelligence is 2. Weird. Passive 11, so and they're only a challenge rating 2, worth around 450 experience, so they're not that bad. However, do I think this would be a great creature to throw at your players? Oh yeah, definitely. If you want to throw a nice big tough cow at them, I think you found the deadly, what I like to call the battle cow, because this guy is an amazingly big, powerful, muscular monster. These guys with a 20 strength, that's pretty impressive for just a cow. In basicness, like a species of this sort of cow-esque family, which is amazing. Now, granted, I know they're not technically cows. They just would be similar to it. They're just basically death monsters. I think it'd be really cool to throw these at a group of characters in just a general. They walk through the forest, your group gets too close, they either attack or they charge away, or one of them decides to fight your party, runs over a couple of them, and you take it down. In the end, you get some lovely pelts out of it, some Aurochs pelt, which are probably very warm. Probably going to have to be washed, because I bet these guys are big, smelly beasts. And then, you know, you get some nice good meat and some big horns and bones and stuff. So, you know, probably not them. And you can even probably find a weapon tangled in their hair as a surprise. So I think they have a lot of good use. And I think having an Aurochs is a cool thing. It adds to the monsters, you know, open to players, not having to create their own. Now, the great thing is still, I've seen some really good Aurochs pre-made by other people or fabricated, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But I think this is just a really cool mini. I like his stance, that sort of aggressive, like he's in mid-charge, about to run up and start to charge you. Tails up in the air, showing signs of, like, you know, distress. The horn, he's lowering the head, he's getting ready to charge and take you out. Moving on to our next mini of the set, though, shall we? And here we have number 4 of 11, the Giant Goat. Now, I did remember a joke for this from the Mighty Glue Stick. Actually, he made a joke of, like, a giant goat just knocking your party off the cliff and killing them that way, where it's like, oh, yeah, that's what TPK'd my party, a giant goat. But you know what? Seeing how big this guy actually is in, like, mini form, man, they were not kidding. This is a really big goat. He stands taller than your horse. He's woollier and actually a bit higher up standing than the Aurochs. Like, dang, that is one seriously big ram. He's going to take you off that cliff and probably crush you to the wall. Man. And even though he's simplistically just a white paint job with little eyes and the big black horns and hooves, this is not a bad looking miniature. I love this, like, sort of aerial effect underneath him. Obviously, it's for support more than is necessary for the fact they don't fly or anything, but it's pretty cool. I love that swoop. It's a lot more sturdy and strong, and it just shows off in this. Man, I really do got to say, I like the giant goat. I've actually wanted this because of the giant goat and the Aurochs were the main reasons I wanted this set. But really cool. Really awesome. Go goats. Really, just a really cool mini. Moving on to the next in the set. And now we get into the Equine minis. That's right, we're getting into the Warhorse. Which, you know what? I don't mind that they made a Warhorse mini. He looks pretty nice. I love the one leg up sort of stance. His armor looks nice. The saddle looks good. His head armor, his mane. His mane's a little bit... I mean, I wish I could see more of like the head mane. Only just because I think it would help, like, kind of show the fact that, like, I don't know. I don't think armor covered every single bit of that mane, though, unless they... Well, they probably shaved him down. You know what? Never mind. They probably shaved him. I do like the style. That's pretty cool for a Warhorse. I kind of wish there was a way to maybe set a miniature like on top of him. I don't think it's going to happen, or you could set him on top by mini base. But, you know, you could just set him on the base itself next to the Warhorse and say, you know, you're riding on its back and blah, blah, blah. Pretty cool. I think we need more horses and stuff like that to be standard and random available, because you never know when a group wants to do it that way, but it just doesn't happen. Pretty cool, pretty simple, but you know what? Not a bad mini to add to the little pile. Let's move on to the other of these Equine-esque minis, shall we? And here we have number 5 out of 11, the Pegasus. Now, granted, my bro actually got one of the older Pegasuses that came with the Tyranny of Dragon set. He actually pulled that out of his booster box. I think I gave him one of my booster boxes at my brick at the time, because he bought one for me, which was cool. But as you can see, this is a pretty nice, and I love the pose of this Pegasus. The hair from the box itself doesn't do it justice, but that mane, when you look at it from the front like that, like you can see from the side, it's not that great, but from that front view, the mane flowing out the two sides like that just gives them such a commanding celestial horse presence, and I like it. Man, this is a good creature. I don't have a Pegasus. I've only had like hippogriffs, griffins, unicorns, and horses, but now I have a cool Pegasus that I can add that has some nice dynamic pose. And the wings. Oh, I love the wings. They're not so white. They're not just bleach white. My bros had the problem of it was like just a bleach white horse a lot of time. Like there's barely any color change. This one has enough change and enough muzzle change that it looks like a real animal. Like it looks literally like they should be. You took the wings off of a white bird and put it on the horse. But obviously those cracks and crevices get more color and stuff to help shade it. And oh, it just looks good. Man, it looks good. I like it. Now let's go to the overall talk about this set. So overall, in general, do I think this set is worth it? Well, I paid around 30 bucks for it, so, you know, I'd have to say, for 30 bucks for some very well-detailed miniatures of some really nice animals that I don't think are problematic to get for addition to your nature or the wilds of the D&D universe, yeah, this is pretty cool. We get a nice, cool, awesomely posed Pegasus that doesn't have an annoying flight stand. He's very solid on there. They got a little bit on the tails of it. Like, it'll wobble a little, but, you know, honestly, very good. I like this Pegasus. It's a really nice Pegasus. I love the details and the wings and such. I love that, like, from that front face of him, like, the front of the face. It just has such a lovely appearance. The mane flowing on both sides of that wind breeze through it. Like, oh. I mean, he might have a little bit of, I think, bendy leg syndrome, but honestly, based on his stance, since he is kind of doing that running sort of gait, which if you've ever seen a horse, they kind of do sometimes go to the sides and they jump up like that. So it actually works out perfectly. And I only know because I took care of horses. I had horses when I was younger. Yeah. And the Needle Blight. Now, granted, the Needle Blight is the only creature that kind of surprised me why they didn't just go with another, like, 5th large creature. To me, kind of a weird choice. I think they should have just gone with another 5th large size creature. It could have been a buffalo, could have been a tiger, something aggressive, more predatory than a Needle Blight. But you know what? Hey, he'll go with my other plant folk and stuff like that, like all my other blights and my fungus people and all that stuff, and myconoids. He'll go with them, so I get another addition for that. So, overall, 2 thumbs up, Wizkids. Very nice. Now, what do I think of the Icons of the Realm sort of sets that are coming out, whether it's the creature set, the summon set, the wild shape sets, or anything in the future? I hope they keep making more. This is another way for getting people some minis they need without having to go and doing the booster pack, blind draw, or painting. Because let's be honest, guys, I've seen some people who say they can't paint. They go, man, I'd love to have a nice looking miniature on the board, but my painting skills are complete trash, and I've tried for years and I can't get good. You know what? That's fair. This is probably an answer to those people who literally want a cool mini on the board, pre-painted, ready to go. You don't have to do any work. You just pull it out of the package, you set him on the table. He's in. You're good to go. You get to playing. But that's all Dracon's got for you today, guys. Stay tuned for more in the future, and make sure you hit that, in this case, charge and gallop upon that like button. And I guess needle stab it a little bit, too. Poor Needle Blight. I have nothing for it. And also, make sure you charge into that notification bell, give it a ring, and set it to all notifications. That way you're not missing out on anything I throw at you, so YouTube's algorithm doesn't give them to you as well as they should. Darn those algorithms. And if you guys have any comments, concerns, questions, or ideas, or anything you want me to do on the channel, or just if you want to just have a shout out, or if you want to check out our podcast, The Dice Dummies, we have started doing season 2. I think we're up to our, man, I forget how many episodes we have in, but we're starting to get some episodes done. So, you know, check them out, guys. We are fighting in the bowels of hell. Anyway, Dante's hell, for the record, just so if you want a clarification, because it's not the 7 hells from D&D necessarily. Anyway, guys, have a great one. I'll see you next time. And this is Dracon signing out. Bye-bye.